Hey Pisces seekers and all seekers tuning in. If you're tuning in or if you're tuning in, welcome. My name is Morgainne and this is the Existential Shift. I'm going to use a combined deck of the Mythic Tarot and Rider-Waite, still one of each card. Gotta start with a bang, the Death card. Pisces. So, there's no way of going around that. Deep transformation and big change due to this deep transformation. If your life now in December is transforming from, let's say, a good 180 degrees, you know how some people say 360 degree change? Do they know it's just just bringing them back to where they started? So just for those of you who are confused, this is the wheel. It has 360 degrees. And if you go from here 360 degrees, you come back here. If you want to refer to an absolute change, then you start here and then you go through 180 degrees and then you end up on the other side. 360, 180. I don't know why I felt the need to say that. But anyway, you're pulling a 180. And that's not something, it's going to feel like it's coming from the outside in, aka an event, an opportunity, a situation that happens that transforms and changes things for you. However, it is a result, a direct effect to a cause of inner transformation and inner change. You are very different than who you used to be, Pisces, which is an interesting thing to say to a mutable sign, let alone Piscean sign. Like you're always the same and different simultaneously. But you do get solidified because that's the nature of a human, to get solidified in this world so that we could be something in relation to it, right? So your soul, your spirit utilizes other aspects of your chart, other signs, the fixed, the cardinal, to solidify your existence and your characteristics. So yes, amorphically you are amorphic, but tangibly you are tangible, and that is subject to change. And I get the feeling it's going to be quite a welcomed one. I'm really drawn to the river here. It's the story of the river of Styx in the underworld, the river of promises. The goddess Styx, am I saying her name correctly? In the Greek mythology, was the goddess of oaths and promises and commitments. So maybe you're moving into some way of commitment or into a committed existence, meaning you commit yourself to a new character, to an aspect of self, to definition. You're willingly committing yourself to being defined. That's interesting. Show us, what is this about? This is about, please. Pisces for December. This is tarot, so if you're watching this at another time and it resonates, take it. Either way, my readings always have spiritual teachings that are timeless and not bound by sign that you can benefit from. So December and whenever. Why are you being so secretive about this, Spirit? Can you show us more, please, for Pisces? What is this change? Oh, wow. Okay. We have King of Pentacles, the Fool, and Temperance. I'm picking up strongly on financial freedom, mainly because Capricorn and Scorpio are very good with finances. They know how to hold money. And I'm picking up on this like ease, financial ease, and freedom to prosper and to explore without having to worry. So some of you are entering a time in your life where you're going to experience financial ease and clarity, where you could resolve some debt, perhaps, some unfinished business, tie up some loose ends if you have them financially. Some of you are literally finishing up a debt, and it's going to give you such ease and tranquility, and it's going to open you to such great opportunities. You'll be able to invest in your dream job, in your dream career, in your direction that your soul, something that your soul will be happy doing, without having to over worry about how much you're making from it. You can just do it because you love it. And of course, that when you let go and you do something just because you love it, money just comes in. So, good news. And it's almost like this pressure has been guided in order to kind of sand you, make you out this liberated creature that doesn't describe yourself as liberated because you don't think in way of definition. It's not the philosophical aspect of not being defined, but more like the freedom and the boundaries, the freedom in the definition, the freedom that a definition gives you. It reminds me of an experience that I had when I did ayahuasca a few years ago. I came to it from a place of being like many other spiritualists, desiring complete decimation of boundaries and having the world be completely open and free for everyone and for us not have material or physical or any sort of boundaries and separation. I thought it was the spiritual high notion, which is very I hate to say this, especially if you're in there, but it's amateur spirituality. So that's how I came into Aya, and Aya gave me what I wanted. Gave me an experience that is completely void of boundaries, of definition, of matter. For a good few hours, for an entire night, I was in a space of no self existence, separation between myself and the walls and others and other atoms and molecules. Now, yes, physics says that that is the case. We're all molecules, right? At the end of the day, we're all elementals, stardust. I am this table. Yeah. That just freaked me out. But we're also not. We are experiencing this world with boundaries for a reason because that was what I thought would be an amazing experience in my imagination, the thought of being limitless and no boundaries and no physical form. And we are souls and we need to be free and transcend above our physical boundaries. Yeah. Um, yeah, I was like that. Hey, we live, we learn, right? So Aya gave it to me in one night instead of like Spirit gave it to me in one boom. And that was one of the most terrifying nights of my life. And when I snapped out of it, when I, got out of that experience in the early hours of the morning, I found myself sitting next to a wall, and then I kid you not, I hugged the wall. I hugged the wall. You know, if you would ask me before that what kind of a hugger I am, I'd say I'm a tree hugger. Then I became a wall hugger. I was so grateful for that wall, for the floor, for my existence versus another person's existence. You know, I was so relieved. Okay, I have an insane neighbor. She's insane. Now, thankfully, I only pick up on her, I only experience her insanity once a day when she comes back home and greets her bird. She has a bird. Now, the bird chirps, but it's a bird. Birds chirp. Okay, I'm not complaining for a bird chirping, but that woman, may the gods bless her heart, she comes home and she screams like the bird. and she joins her in this orchestra of chirping, but very high screech. And I don't know if you heard this, but that shit is terrifying. You think you get used to it, but you don't get used to it. She sounds like, okay, never mind. Never mind. Where was I? I was being thankful for the wall. And I realized I had a very deep spiritual realization that day, that we are here as souls, bound by these physical, boundaries, because we can't yet deal with being a spirit in the spirit realm. It's too much for us to grasp. Think of a baby in the womb that is completely reliant on the womb holding it and nourishing it and being in its mother's belly. If you take a baby out of the womb too soon, too early, it's not going to survive. It doesn't have the tools, the strength to deal with breathing on its own, for example. My understanding is that I know we like to, flatter ourselves and be like, yeah, we're old souls. We've been on this earth for a very long time and we came from other realms and blah blah. This is Earth. Gaia is literally the womb. We are being built into freedom, true freedom. But right now we're not ready. So, as a Pisces, I'm sure a lot of you naturally fall for that trap because you have the memory of the cosmos, right? You have the memory of being in, you know, uh, fluid within the spirit realm. And it affects you in this life. And maybe this is when you learn that the earthly boundaries and the definition and the status and the pay and what you earn and what you have and your bank account and all the jazz are the things that make you feel free because you feel safe. So you feel healed. So you feel free. Because if you don't feel safe, you are vulnerable. If you are vulnerable, then you have to put up walls of protection, whether you like it or not. You might not like it, but your psyche will. But when you have proper structure and defense mechanism, a good grounded structure to hold you if you fall, that's when you can fly. I'm not gonna jump off a cliff without a bungee rope, but I will if I have a bungee rope and, maybe like a safety net below. That will make me feel more free to jump and experience that. Does that make sense? So, Pisces, this is December for you. A new form of freedom, a true one that you'll actually get to enjoy. Show me more, please. For Pisces, what else? Okay. Ace of Wands. This is a really exciting new beginning. This is a really exciting new beginning. There's a lot of passion involved. Possibly travel. Honestly, some of you are meeting someone like this that allows you to do this. It could come from someone else. And there's a lot of passion and connection, and it happens right away, and you just feel like you've known them for a very long time, and you just feel comfortable with them, and you have fun together, and you pick up on each other's cues. Bottom of the deck, Two of Cups can definitely be romantic. If indeed this is romantic, then this person is grounded. They have expectations. They have plans. Don't play the whole money is dirty, boundaries are terrible game. Pisces, in case you do that or you're tempted to do that, not with this person. They're not going to like it. They're not going to think it's cute. They're not going to think it's romantic. It's not a rom-com. You're not going to transform their thought process into the romantic liberated. Don't do that. They're going to look at you and be like, okay, so Pisces is immature. I can't build a life with them. They're not going to say anything. They're going to nod and going to smile. And they're not going to call you again. Okay? So you choose. It looks like a catch though. Show us more, please, for Pisces. Five of Cups. I'm telling you, what I just said, some of you are going to do. You're going to reason in your mind why I'm wrong and you are right, why I'm sarcastic and you are poetic, why I'm pessimistic and you're positive, and you're going to fuck it up. But for the lesser of you that will, when I say lesser, I don't mean worse, God forbid. I mean, like, I feel like most of you will be tempted or will go about the direction that I just expressed. But some of you will possibly heed the advice. And then something great can come out of it. Okay. Wow. Wow. Did I not just say something great can come out of it? Look at this. This will rock your boat completely. Completely. Knight of Cups, High Priestess, Ten of Pentacles, the Tower. This is, you know what? It's an offer you can't refuse. This is an offer you can't refuse. It is going to make things a little bit uncomfortable because it's going to require you dealing with your ego. For example, it could have to do with your femininity. So let's say you are feminine that was injured, that had her boundaries tempered and stumped all over. And for the sake of safety, and rightly so, you had to develop a lot of defense mechanisms and enact masculine energy to survive in the world, if not at least to succeed or to be taken seriously. And maybe it's based on your own personal experience and pain, or maybe it's, you know, the divine feminine, the archetype of all women that have gone through trampling over our boundaries for God knows how long, Goddess knows how long. So it feels dangerous to be in soft femininity. It triggers an alarm that says danger. And some of you don't know to differentiate between someone with healthy masculinity who wants to show up for you and take care of you, not in way of like you're weak and you're incapable and all that jazz, but because they want to and because it can allow you to be creative and free and happy and joyous and without worrying. Okay, so if you're going to be triggered by that and confuse their care and genuine desire to build something for you with wanting to control you. Now, again, I'm not judging you for it. I'm talking to women now. I know you've had many men who were in their toxic masculinity who confused caring with control, right? Who confused support with imprisoning. But that's not what I'm picking up from this person. I'm picking up something very mature, grounded, that is able to show up. And it might scare you. So my recommendation is to go easy. You know, if you're feeling like you're triggered by something, by some gesture or an offer that they're making, take longer pause before you respond. Try to liberate your mind and think differently. And maybe, save this reading and come back to it. Because what's on the other side of being triggered and possibly breaking this down, this opportunity, is something really, really, really positive that can last for a long time, that you can build with. Okay. Another aspect of this is on the other side of you breaking down your boundaries and defense mechanisms, you will earn healthy boundaries that are protective but also allow you to freedom. Okay? The reason I went into a rant on the femininity is because the high priestess here, you had to retrieve. I feel like maybe some of you had to retrieve for a long time. Maybe you've been quiet or distant, been working on your transformation, and you've manifested it. It's coming. Be sure to receive it. I think it's gonna be really, really, really worth it. Anything else you can tell us about this person for Pisces? Beautiful. Two of Cups and Six of Wands. You can see it. They're going to be romantic and they're going to want to show up for you. Let them. It's not weakness, it's strength. Let me tell you something about a great example is in Judaism. Okay. So the reason why men in Judaism are supposed to study the Torah and do the spiritual studies, and women do not. Women are not supposed to read in the Torah or study the Torah and so on. People confuse it often with alleged disrespect of women, or, oh, it's because they can't, or it's because they shouldn't be so close to God and all that. And that's a major distortion that both Christianity and Islam, by the way, misconstrued in Judaism and moved on to suppressing women because of that. But the actual cause and reason behind it is not only that women can learn the spiritual knowledge and read the Torah and all that stuff, they already know it. They already have it. The reason women are not expected to do the spiritual studies and the Torah studies is because they already innately know the wisdom of God. Because of their womb, they're co-creators. They bring life into the world. They are naturally and inherently divine and perfect and godly and close to God. They don't need the intellectual assistance, aka reading it from the book and studying it through the mind, because their entire mechanism is already tapped. So it's actually coming from deep respect and reverence to women. Okay? You don't need to do this, not because you can't, but because you're already divine. Let me do the service. That's from the masculine side. I, as a masculine, need to do the work that you already have inherently to catch up with you. So let me do the work for you to get to you, to match up to you. Simple example, if you let him pick up the tab or open the door or however it plays out for you, or be the first to call, I don't know, whatever the dating stuff are. If you let him do these things, it's not you telling yourself and him that he's strong and capable and you're weak and incapable. It's saying or just acting from a place of worthiness and divinity. Let him serve the goddess by serving you. Let him serve God by serving you. This applies to the archetype of the sky god and the earth goddess. It works on both faiths, which I don't understand why it needs to be a contradictory. We need a mother and a father. We need a god and a goddess. Hey, you will be so victorious. This will feel so great. But will you let it? And men, if you're watching this, I hope you learned something. The reason you guys have to work harder is not because you're stronger or more capable. It's because women have already done the spiritual work throughout incarnations and they are closer to God. It's not to say one is worse and one is lesser and one is better. It's just where you are on the wheel. Okay. If there's anything you want to know further about me, the existential shift, everything is in the description box. I love you guys very much. Happy holiday season. And I'll see you soon. Bye, Pisces.